Welcome into Dallas Mavericks. Today, I am your host, Harrison Graham, back in studio after a sweaty as hell Christian Wood trade breakdown last night. So it's nice to be back in the AC. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you missed it, go check that out. It was quite entertaining, I'm guessing, for you guys. So today, what I thought we would do is take an updated look at some Mavericks free agent targets following the Christian Wood trade. And if you've been under a rock or if you just want a visual recap, here it is. Here's what went down last night. And technically it can't be official till draft night because that's the only way the Mavericks can trade their first-round pick. But they sent 26 overall to Houston along with Boban Marjanovic, Marquise Chris, who's having surgery and is going to be out for a couple months, Trey Burke, and Sterling Brown in return for Christian Wood. Quite frankly, this is a steal, and honestly, you're kind of trading just number 26 overall for Wood. I love Boban. Pour one out for the big fella. We all love him. But none of those four guys played a single meaningful minute in the postseason. Christian Wood is step one of the offseason. Complete. Check. We're good to go. You got your starting big at that position. Now, you could add another center. I'm not saying they're done at that spot overall because he could play some four as well if you want to mix and match there. But you just addressed a need that you desperately needed, and you really didn't give that much up for it. Shout out Nico Harrison, kind of the first big move for him, I would say, at least for this offseason. And I think job well done. We'll see how it comes together. But at minimum, he's a major upgrade from Dwight Powell. All right, if you love the Christian Wood trade, like the video. I don't see how you could not love it. I mean, again, you saw the trade details. You didn't give that much for him. So hit that thumbs up icon. Remember, month of June, all about likes here at Chat Sports. All right, let's take a look at some updated free agent targets. And let's just get the obvious one out of the way, right? Jalen Brunson. This kind of goes without saying, right? Obviously, the top priority, even before the Christian Wood trade, is keeping Jalen Brunson. That has not changed. He was actually on a podcast recently and talked about how frustrating he is after losses. And you're going to tell me he's going to go join the Knicks or the Pistons if he hates losing? Not going to happen. I think he's going to be back in Dallas. Obviously, until it happens, nothing's official. But getting him back is priority number one. That goes without saying. I obviously wanted to include him on this free agent targets list because if I didn't, I'd be getting comments, where's JB? Well, there he is. We'll get him out of the way right off the bat. All right, let's take a look at some external guys now. Goran Dragic. Listen, with Trey Burke gone, you need another guard, even if it's a guy that's not going to play a lot of minutes. I think Goran Dragic can fill a couple of roles. One, a guy who can eat some minutes as a playmaker off the bench. And two, Luka needs a new drinking buddy. Listen, Boban's gone. And hey, by the way, if the Rockets decide to cut him and the Mavs bring him back, I am in because I love Boban. My wife was actually in tough shape last night because she loves Boban too, her favorite player, because he's such a cool dude. And we get all that. But he had to be a part of the trade to get it done. I get that part of it, obviously. Goran Dragic, Slovenian, Luka's buddy, go out for a couple of drinks after these games. Let's make it happen. Now, who's the better drinking buddy? Now, I'm probably still going to go Boban just because I feel like hanging out with Boban is far more entertaining and heartwarming than Goran Dragic. I'm not saying Goran Dragic isn't a good dude. That's not what I'm saying. But Boban, everyone loves Boban, right? It's like everyone loves Raymond. Everyone loves Boban. Type BM for Boban Marjanovic. By the way, pour one out for the big fella, like I said. Type GD for Goran Dragic. Type my BM, but hey, you want to bring Dragic on board, play 10 to 15 minutes a game? I got no problem with that whatsoever. Malik Monk next up, a guy I'm very interested in. By the way, after Brunson, I think all these guys, or a lot of these guys, be thinking the taxpayers mid-level. Now, Monk might be beyond that. He might get more than that because last year he played pretty damn well for the Lakers. You kind of look at his upswing from Charlotte to L.A. there, and he played a lot better for the Hornets. You see the numbers, almost 14 points per game, 48% for the field, just about 39% from three. He might get $10, $11 million, where the Mavs mid-level is about 6.5. So we'll see. He took the minimum to play with the Lakers. Obviously, that paid off for him. We'll see what he's looking into. If you could get him at the taxpayers, that would be an absolute steal. A guy who can space the floor, decent defender, good bouncy player as well, and can play on and off ball. All right, Gary Harris, who hasn't been quite the same player the last few years. He kind of tailed off toward the end of his time in Denver. But what you know you can get out of Gary Harris is pretty stingy defense, can shoot the ball fairly well. What did we talk about in the playoffs? Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock need a little bit more rest. A guy like Gary Harris can play 20, 25 minutes in a playoff game. He really can. Was a part of some winning teams in Denver. I don't think he wants to go back and play for a losing team like Orlando. I think the mid-level taxpayer exception could be perfect for a guy like him at this stage in his career. How about Victor Oladipo? Now, I think the fit is a bit clunky, but at the mid-level, I think that feels pretty proper for him. Played nicely for Miami in limited action this year, coming back from that latest injury. Was getting playoff minutes over Duncan Robinson for Eric Spoelstra. I mean, that feels pretty significant to me. He trusted Oladipo in the postseason. We'll see where he ends up. I certainly would not be opposed to him, a guy who can create a little bit and also play off ball. Will the Mavericks sign another guard? What do you guys think? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'm thinking probably so, with Trey Burke no longer in the mix. Maybe it just means more minutes for Ntilikina in the regular season. Hard to say. Y for yes and for no. Let me know what you guys think. Now join us for the NBA draft a week from today. Obviously the Mavs don't have a pick, but hey, maybe they buy into the second round, or maybe you just are an NBA draft fan overall. I'll be live over there breaking down every pick with my guy Chase Sr. It's going to be a lot of fun. You don't want to miss any of it. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Join us this Thursday night over there. All right, five more guys to break down. How about Joe Ingles, who we all kind of forgot about because he got injured, then he got traded to Portland, didn't play there at all, so obviously most recently with the Jazz in terms of playing. 34, 35 now, he's certainly older, torn ACL, that kind of throws a wrench into things for an older player, but if he's for cheap, like vet minimum maybe, come off the bench, shoot some threes, mix it up defensively a little bit, I don't mind that. He's always an annoying player to play against, but if you have him, I'm down. I like Joe Ingles. He's like one of those Mavs killers, by the way. It seemed like he shot about 50% from three when he would face Dallas. So if he's healthy and can return, I'm definitely open to this idea. How about Kyle Anderson? Now, I don't know what to expect in terms of his market, plus he might just stay in Memphis, especially if they lose Tyus Jones, which they probably will. They'll probably just pay Anderson that money. But crafty player, can do a little bit of everything, decent enough shooter, good defender, can handle a bit, can play off ball, slow as hell. What's his nickname, Coop? I forget what they call him, but he looks like, he's playing at a speed slower than everyone else, but he's really kind of turned himself into a decent little player with the Memphis Grizzlies, and I think for a mid-level type of contract, I would be interested. Subscribe to Mavericks today because things are heating up here. We're ramping up our coverage. If you can't tell, a couple videos yesterday, got a video today. We'll have you covered throughout the weekend as well. YouTube.com/MavsTV. This is the time to subscribe. And also, round of applause to you guys. We hit 17,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Let's get to 18,000. Let's keep the train moving here at Mavericks today. Okay, how about Nick Batum? Nick Batum, a couple years ago, looked washed and done with the Hornets. Then he signs a deal with the Clippers. Remember how great he was against the Mavs a couple years ago in the postseason? He was awesome that season. Didn't quite have the volume last year with LA. Still good, though. 40% from three, over 8 points per game, over 4 rebounds, crafty offensive player, pretty physical and good defender, can guard threes and fours. A wing off the bench who can play a stretch four or play the three, can handle it a little bit too. I like Nick Batum. I think he's the type of guy, if you're a team trying to win a championship, you bring him off your bench. That's the type of role that he should be playing in this at this point in his career. I would like to bring him to Dallas. And I view Otto Porter in a very similar light. I think if you could somehow pry one of those two guys from the current situations they're in, good shooters, good defenders, versatile players, know how to win. These guys have been through, they've made their money. You know what I mean? Like, bring them in $5-6 million and let's go. I think they can contribute for your basketball team. And then JaVale McGee, a guy who's actually been here before, but, since he left Dallas several years ago, he's actually turned into a pretty reliable big. I would put him in the upper echelon of backup centers in the league. If you go Christian Wood, JaVale McGee at center, and then maybe Maxi Kleber's kind of your power forwards, third center hybrid type, obviously different type of player. Then you dump Dwight Powell, maybe you trade him along with that trade exception you have. I would love that. I think that idea I like quite a bit. I don't think you would bring in a McGee if you still have Powell, but if Powell gets moved, I think signing a guy like him makes a ton of sense. All right, so there you go. 10 players. There's certainly a bunch more that Dallas could be interested in, but I want to know from you. Name a free agent that the Mavericks should go out and sign in NBA free agency. Draft next Thursday, free agency 2 Thursdays from now. It's ramping up. Subscribe, answer the questions from today's show, and we'll see you soon here on Mavericks Today.